So welcome, Chris Zito. Awesome probate deal. By the way, she's from Tampa, and her specialty is probate. Great deal. So go for it. Okay. And here's your slides, by the way.
Thank you. My name is Kim, and we live in Tampa, so we mostly look for deals in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County. This is a single-family house that we found in January. We closed on it on January 31st. I found it through the probate court records, which I do religiously every week in both counties. The heirs were out of state. It was a man who died. The two sons and the ex-wife never lived in this house, so they never had any emotional tie with the house. They live out of state. We got it under contract for $63,500. It was just a cosmetic rehab. Everything, the structure was new. I mean, it was built in 1994. It was a block house. The roof was just put on. The AC heat was just installed. So we knew it just needed, updating. The man was a hoarder. All the houses I found so far have all been hoarding houses. I don't know what that's about, but we got it under contract for $63,500. We figured in $15,000 for rehab. Obviously went over a little bit, but nothing drastic. We purchased the property using $33,500 of our own money, $30,000 from my husband's parents, and then financed the rehab with credit cards and whatnot. The rehab was completed in mid-April, and the tenants moved in on June 1st. Now, when we decided, when we were thinking about the exit strategy on the house, we thought lease option. And at the time, we had a relationship with a mortgage broker who told us that we could actually do a cash-out refi based on 1 day of seasoning. We were like, great, that is awesome. We'll put tenants in, we'll pull the money out, we'll use that money for our next deal. That turned out to be a huge mess. Based on the delayed financing rule, whatever, the first mortgage broker couldn't get it done for us. With the first mortgage broker, the house came in appraised at $110,000. So all we knew at that point, how it was explained to us, was the most we can get was the purchase price out. So we weren't able to we knew at that point, with the rules, it wasn't going to be 70% of loan to value, but the contract price had to still be in the money of 70% to loan to value. So with $110,000 appraisal, we knew that $63,500 was right in there. Well, the first mortgage broker just couldn't get it done. We moved it over to a second mortgage broker who said, no problem, we can do it based on 6 months of seasoning. Well, a week before we were supposed to close on that, we got a call from the broker saying, because $30,000 of the contract price came from Chris's parents, based on Fannie Mae rules, we can only give you 75% of the purchase price. Yeah, because they said they couldn't resell it on the secondary mortgage market, which I don't understand. So instead of getting $63,500 out of it, we got $47,625, which still isn't bad. It's not as much as we wanted, but we were able to at least get some money out. So that's one end of the deal. The main part of the deal was we found tenants. We put them in a lease option, a 3 to 5 year lease option. They have to be in the house for at least 3 years. The purchase price at the end, when they want to pull the trigger on it, is $116,500. They gave us an option fee of $5,000, and they're paying a monthly rent of $1,150. With the mortgage note that we have, with the refi, our debt service is $270 a month. Once we figure in taxes and insurance, we're net cash flowing $710 a month. Yeah. And the great thing with this is that we actually have great tenants in there. We found the house originally, there was a sort of military connection that we had with the original sellers. My husband, Chris, is a captain in the Army. One of the sons of the deceased was in the Army himself. The ex-wife lived at MacDill Air Force Base while she was married to the man who died, which is where Chris works. He works at MacDill Air Force Base. And then the tenants that we got in they're a beautiful family. They're down on luck. They're currently getting foreclosed on in their current house. They were underwater. They adopted 5 children. Yeah, and I'm adopted myself, so there's that connection. So it's just a beautiful story that I feel like It was just sent to us from up above. But yeah, so if we go to the next slide, you can see they have to stay in the house for 3 years, so we will come out $58,000 after 3 years. They're probably not going to be able to find the financing in 3 years. So even if they stay 4, or if they stay out till 5, we'll get $75,000 after 5.
Okay, a couple of things. Give her a round of applause. Okay. Just so you know, I wrote up a lot of detail on this deal because there are a lot of really cool things that Kim shared. Let's take it very quickly from the top. One of the things you shared with me about houses that are hoarders, about the walls. Can you share that?
Yeah, well, like I said, I get all of my deals so far this year have all come through probate, and they've all, for some reason, been houses of hoarders. So we always tell them, like, don't worry about it, we'll get rid of it, we'll take care of everything, which is a huge selling point to the sellers, especially if they're out of state, because they don't want to deal with it. They're already taking time off to come here. So we got rid of all this stuff. I mean, we hired one of those guys from Craigslist, I pick up junk. Paid him, $100.
You said the walls were clean?
The walls?
Yeah, you said they were clean.
The wall, oh, yeah. The walls were clean. The walls were clean. I mean, it needed paint, but the walls were clean because there was just so much crap in the house.
They were covered with junk.
Yeah, there were clear pathways you could see on the carpet. So whatever you couldn't reach to the walls, those walls were actually like spotless.
Okay. All right, two of the things she mentioned in my interview with her is the affinity angle. And you just happened to have driven by and had a conversation with the siblings, and just they understood that you needed to make money.
Yeah.
So the whole military angle, that only came out of just having a conversation with them the first time, correct?
Yep. It just so happened, like we were talking to each other on email and phone. They never told me that they were actually going to be at the house, because I knew they lived in Indiana and Washington State. And so I said, okay, well, I just got in my car one day, drove over there to do a walk around, and they happened to be there.
And she just started talking to them, and they fell in love with her. So there you go. The last thing before Q&A is you mentioned the whole adoption angle with the family. Well, you already mentioned that, so that's good. Okay, great. Who has questions for Kim? Anybody? Yes, Susie?
Oh, I was just curious if there was anything valuable or collectible in your hoarder house, or if it was like crumpled up McDonald's bags.
The question is, was there anything valuable from the hoarder house?
We were looking, and I remember several months ago, there was that video about how to go through items that are left in a house, taking off the legs of the table, and we didn't find anything.
You sure? You checked everything? Anybody else? 1 second. Someone over there, I see? Okay, yes. Your question?
Did you try to get any kind of seller financing first before you agreed to a cash offer?
Question is for the mic. Was there did you try to get seller financing? Yes.
Yeah, with all of the probate deals I've worked on, I always offer, as taught, cash, terms, and then a little bit of both, and everyone has gone for the cash.
Okay, on this side of the room? No? Not anymore? Anybody else? Yes, very quickly. Cost of trash out.
It wasn't much. It was probably $120, probably $120.
We pretty much did all the deconstruction of the house ourselves and just loaded everything into the garage and hired a guy with pickup to take it all to the dump. So it's like $80 for him and $40 for the dump space.
In essence, they did the work on their own. Great. Everybody please give Kim a round of applause. Yes, I'm sorry, Susie?
Just on your numbers, your 858, does that include your cash flow or additional cash?
In addition.
And again, everybody,
Or, I mean, it's total.
Okay, so that includes your cash?
Yep.
all these numbers are in the article for the next newsletter, and the breakdown is there. Lastly, she bills herself as a probate expert, so if you ever need help, reach out to her. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you.